Hello, and thank you for joining us today in our study of the book of Psalms. Today we're in Psalm 56, and Psalm 56 is going to have the heading that it is written by David, but that it was written during the time when he is going to be held by the people of Gath, which would coincide to the end of 1 Samuel chapter 21. So we once again have a psalm that is written by David before the time where he will be the king of Israel, which means it's probably going to be written in about his early 20s as far as a timeline is concerned. And so you have a young David who is going to write about keeping his trust in God in difficult circumstances. Let's see what he says. Beginning in verse 1, we read, "Be merciful to me, O God, for man would swallow me up. Fighting all day he oppresses me. My enemies would hound me all day, for there are many who fight against me, O Most High. Whenever I am afraid, I will trust in you. In God I will praise his word. In God I have put my trust. I will not fear. What can flesh do to me? All day they twist my words. All their thoughts are against me for evil. They gather together, they hide, they mark my steps when they lie in wait for my life. Shall they escape by iniquity? In anger cast down the peoples, O God. You number my wanderings, put my tears into your bottle. Are they not in your book? When I cry out to you, then my enemies will turn back. This I know because God is for me. In God I will praise his word. In the Lord I will praise his word. In God I have put my trust. I will not be afraid. What can man do to me? Vows made to you are binding upon me, O God. I will render praises to you, for you have delivered my soul from death. Have you not kept my feet from falling, that I may walk before God in the light of the living? As you examine Psalm 56, you have here the tenor of this message being the fact that God has delivered him in the past and will continue to deliver him now, and that because of that, David completely has his trust in God, even though you have very difficult circumstances where these individuals are not his friends and they are not seeking what is good for him. I want you to notice a couple of statements from this psalm as we try to put some applications in place. First of all, back in verse number 5, it talks about the fact that all day they twist my words. You know, the twisting of words is one of the key mechanisms that people will use when they are trying to tear us down. It's very easy to not talk about what we say or to not correctly state what it is that we said, and instead twist it around to something that is more devious or more easily stated as being wrong. Now, it is safe to say that many times our words in and of themselves are not what they should be, and because of that, we're wrong for using our tongue unwisely. But at the same time, when someone takes words that were said and twists them either to their own advantage or to our detriment, then there is a deceitfulness that is involved that can be very difficult to overcome. And here, David talks about those who are twisting his words, and their thoughts against him are for evil. The twisting of words is something that we need to be cognizant of as far as the way others will try to take an advantage over us, but also we need to make sure that we don't do it to someone else. Because twisting their words turns us into a liar. And it turns us into somebody who is trying to take advantage of a situation instead of someone who is truthfully trying to inform or to fix a situation. And so we have the importance of recognizing the twisting of words. In the second place, he makes the statement in verse 8. He says, "You number my wanderings, put my tears into your bottle. Are they not in your book?" The idea of numbering his wanderings is the idea of you're keeping track of where I go. You take record of all of the things that are going on. You've put my tears into your book. You've recorded all of the different things that are happening to me. David's focus here is on the fact that God knows what's happening. He's keeping track of all of the things that are taking place in David's life. You number my wanderings. You know where I go. You know when I get there. You know when I leave. You know, nowadays we have technology that tracks us everywhere we go as far as that goes. Well, in the days before that technology, David knew that God knew where he was going, when he got there, because God could keep track of David. God was with David wherever he went. And not just with knowing where he was, but knowing what he was going through as well. In the third place, David is going to make the statement at the end of the psalm in verse 12. He says, "Vows made to you are binding upon me, O God." We've seen this at other times and in other passages, and a couple even within the Psalms, but it's worth repeating here because promises are so important. Vows are so important. Vows that are made to God are binding. And there's several different kinds of vows that would be under consideration with this. But certainly, we need to recognize that when we make promises and when we make God promises, we are expected to keep them. Because when God makes promises to us, he keeps them. And so, therefore, we need to be very careful before we make vows or we make promises to God, because he is not going to forget the promises that we have made. These are some of the things that I found in Psalm 56. I hope that they are beneficial to you. Next time, we will come back and we will begin examining Psalm 57. I hope that you'll join us then. Thank you for viewing the video today, and I hope you have a great day.